I've called it direct investments and troubled assets, we understand. And troubled I'm going to spend a lot of time on. Contrarian. There are big similarities between being a value investor like a Warren Buffett and being an investor in troubled assets. In both cases, you're buying things cheap, and I'll wait for questions I'll let you guys zing me on what is cheap and how do you know it. Because we, of course, could go on forever about that. But you're buying things cheap, and you're oftentimes buying them alone. You're buying them against the crowd. So you do want to keep in mind, though, who are you contrary to and when? Because you don't need to be contrary to the whole world, and you don't need to be contrary all the time. It's that when you go looking for trouble, don't forget to beware of trouble. In 1997, I thought I knew trouble. I thought I could look for troubled companies. I never dreamed that long-term capital, these geniuses, would implode, or that they would own some of the same bonds I owned. I didn't implode, but I got a hell of a mark-to-market about that September. FAMCO stands for Funsten Asset Management Company. We started off as a manager of high yield and distressed debt. I was one of the pioneers of having fixed income hedge funds, which now are quite common. Back in the early 90s, it was sort of pioneering for all the hedge funds. But most of the hedge funds were long short, so there weren't a whole lot of fixed income ones because you really can't hedge something you can't directly short. And FAMCO's become a consultant and an advisor, and we've given advice to large pension plans. And now most of the work we do is turnaround management, is the non-principal side of what we did do. By that I mean when we were a hedge fund, we had capital and cash, and so we could act as a principal in buying things. We would then go in and run it. We'd then go in and run the committees. Now FAMCO is mostly just giving advice, but we're beginning to gear up again for principal transactions. Now, what can I do to stop the bleeding? Third, now you control it, fix it. Okay, now you've done all this pre-work and you've actually won the lottery. You've got the prize. Bingo, dude. It's up to you now. Fix it. You have to start making the changes. You have to make decisions from day one. You have to find the cash, find the cash, find the cash. You may need additional capital. You may need to fire people. You may need to fire managers. You're going to need to prune the income statement in a way. In other words, get rid of expenses. I have a little mantra where I say, lay off product and customers, not people. A lot of other managers, and especially when companies do it.